Hey, what's up everyone? Tankenstein here. In this video, I'll be giving you your complete and total guide / tutorial for every single menu in War Thunder. This will be hopefully the most comprehensive guide that I can create based totally on experience, and I will be doing this unscripted just so that I can get everything in as good of detail as possible. That being said, I'll be going basically from left to the right and everything in between, top to bottom, everything on this screen. I'll try to touch on it. But that being said, please remember, like, comment, subscribe. You know the dealio. But either way, let's get into it. So with all that out of the way, let's just start off on the top left like I had said. So you can go here. This is pretty much the options menu, the menu if you will. And as you can see, you have options, controls, and exit. So if you like, you can click exit. That'll leave the game. But as I hope that you do, I hope that you enjoy this game as much as you can. So you will not be clicking that exit button often. That being said, you can alternatively just press exit or escape on the top left of your keyboard, and then that should open up that same menu. That being said, you can click on the options button. This pretty much just gives you all of your basic options, your main parameters, graphics, sound, voice chat, internet radio, social. So internet radio is a little bit interesting. You can add stations, and if you can actually find a URL to an online radio station, you can add it there. I personally don't do that. You can also set up voice chat. Sound, I personally keep my volume low, largely just because I have to record gameplay very often, and it helps just to have the volume low, even though it kind of detracts from my ability to play. You have your graphics here. This is typically something that you can change in the launcher, just because once you start changing some of the more foundational graphics, it will require a restart. And then again, you have your foundational or your basic parameters here. You can really see anything here, other settings, customization of vehicles. This one's really important. So what I always do is I have any, so you can see any piece of any sort of camouflage, so long as it is in game as a marketplace or just regular skin for a vehicle. This will allow you to see it, and it actually has it preset where you can see, I think, only historical and semi-historical in most of these. So if you want to see people's crazy skins, you can go here and you can click any, and that's how you do it. Alternatively, you can change how you see people in spectator mode. You can change how you see enemies here. But anyways, you can kind of go through this yourself. Let's get into the next menu. So next up we have controls, and as you can see, it basically just kind of gives you a rundown of all your controls, and this is exactly where you will be setting all of your important controls. And some controls are not preset. If I'm not mistaken, weapon lock isn't preset. Radar lock, for example, is not preset. Those are very, very important, especially if you're going to be using missiles. You have commander, fire control, so on and so forth, IR spotlight. Like, you can just see all this, and if you'd like to set a specific thing, for example, reset primary weapon isn't necessary just because there's a control key. There's a weapons menu in game. If you press the Y button, it kind of sets you up for that. But you can just press assign button, press whatever you'd like, and you can do that. Alternatively, if you'd like to remove the binding for whatever reason, you can click on that and it removes the binding, so it's basically a blank slate. You have pretty much everything here. Ground control or ground vehicles, naval, common. So this is pretty much everything that will be more or less between aircraft, helicopters, ground vehicles, and naval, more or less. And as you can see, it's all fairly important. Like I said, weapon lock, very, very, very important, especially for air. Make sure you set that to something, because that is going to be absolutely crucial, especially once you get to jet engines and I guess even rockets, but rocket planes, if I'm not mistaken, do not have the option for guided missiles. So really, once you get past around 8.0 BR. Alternatively, you have your spectator camera, which is useful for replay, which I will be getting into the replay menu in just a second. Now from there, I'm going to try to speed this up. So from there, we have custom battles, under the battles tab here. So you can just click on it and it keeps it open. Whereas if you just hover over it, it kind of goes away once you don't hover over it. You have custom battles. You can pretty much join any type of battle that you'd like here. These will not count as RP-based battles. These will not give you Silver Lions, Golden Eagles, any sort of rewards. These are just pretty much fun to play matches, and you can set up for tons of different there's just tons of different sort of play styles, and you can even set up your own sessions if you'd prefer. One of my favorite ones is Carrier Wars. Click on that, start, and I guess Carrier Wars is updated, and then you can set it up through that. But that being said, you kind of go down from there. World War mode. This is not something that is very much often available. I think it's about once per year. But basically, once you click on World War mode, there will be a separate menu here, which I do have a World War mode explain video. It is a little bit older, so forgive me if the audio is not great, but you do have that, and you can kind of check on this menu the leaderboards, achievements, so on and so forth. But again, unfortunately, that's not active right now, so we have no way of seeing it. User missions, that's another thing where you can download missions. One of my favorite ones is get the PE8, drop them on, if I'm not mistaken, 1,000 or 500 some odd mouse tanks, which is pretty cool. And tutorial, I've got a video on that. You can kind of, I guess they added these tutorials after I did all the rest of the tutorials. Basically, you can get yourself some Silver Lions. It used to be GE, but you can get Silver Lions for completing those. Dynamic campaign, which these are available to everyone. So you can just click on that, start up, and kind of do a campaign. Very, very interesting in my opinion. Some of these, if I'm not mistaken, are alternate histories. So it's really, really cool. Then you can click on this for your historical campaigns. These typically have to be purchased. So I've got Japan, the Pacific War. I haven't really done too much of it, but you can get rewards, and it is pretty cool. I do thoroughly enjoy them. And from there, you can just kind of go to benchmark, and this will test your graphics card, which is fairly useful, especially if you're looking to switch graphics cards from your old to your new one. You can see exactly how much your performance has increased. Now from there, you have the communities tab, which you can see leaderboards, pretty much, in arcade battles, you can see I'm like top 16,000 or whatever, top 75%, whatever. That's pretty much where my rankings tend to be, on a monthly basis, top 77 for the last month. Either way, that doesn't really matter too much. You can check out squadrons. You can also click on this for squadrons. If you do have a squadron, this brings you directly to your squadron. I am currently in VPO, but I would strongly suggest joining Stien, S-T-I-E-N. It should come up with Tankin Squad. They are awesome. Join them. It's kind of like my offshoot squadron, but it's full of really cool dudes, and I'm going to be joining hopefully sometime soon once I can kind of work things out with my own squadron, but I do love my squadron. So if you're watching it and you're in my squadron, don't you worry. Either way, we do also have leaderboards. So once you come up with certain, there will be certain, I guess you could say tournaments and squadron battles, so to speak, which you can, as you can see, you can update things and get higher squadron ratings. Really, this is for people who are in that sort of thing. I don't typically do this, as you can see. It's just not whatever. And then you also have Squadron Search, which will allow you to peruse different squadrons and join them. Like I said, look up Stien. You can find Tankin Squad. Join them because they simp for our Lord the Baby, which if you join the Discord, you'll know exactly what they mean. And further, you have your player card here. This is pretty much just your regular run-of-the-mill stat sheet. You can click on that, look at realistic, simulators, so on, whatever, From there, you can check out service record, which basically tells you how bad or good you are with various vehicles, medals, achievements. This is very important when it comes to events like Operation Summer, for example, because this is exactly where you are going to be able to find how far progressed you are in any individual task. So it'll come up with something like this where it says Battle Pass Strength Athletics, except it should say Operation Summer or Operation Winter. You click on it, click on whatever's underneath, and it'll come up with something like this, tell you how far you are through it, which should give you a good indication of how close you are to completing your individual tasks for the day, and how close you are to getting your vehicles. Very, very important. You also have your skins. This is really, really confusing in my opinion. Not really something that I would suggest. but you can certainly do that. It's just kind of every skin for, if I'm not mistaken, every vehicle in the Japanese tank tech tree, or you can click on the American, for example. You can just check out whatever. As you can see, I have a lot for some vehicles and not a lot for most. And then you have decals, another way to do that. Personally, I would just go down here. I'll just kind of skip ahead to this. You can click on skins here, find all the ones that you have available to use. Or if you want, just better said, for an individual vehicle, go to customization, pull this down, and you have all the available skins and what they cost, and if you can purchase them on the marketplace. So one thing that I did not just touch on in the communities tab that I do want to go on, touch on before I move on here, is the replay. And this is very, very important. As you can see here, you can check out all of your various replays and how well you might have done, whatever the case may be. You can see it all here. It records it by time and day and all that, and it goes on the 24-hour clock. You can rename replays, you can delete them, you can even open up the folder in which your replays are stored. And if you name replays, you could see all of your various replays here that that you may have named in the past, that you've saved specifically, but no longer have a valid, you can't play them back because it's on an older version of the game. So really, I should get rid of all these replays, and there's even more on this one. But yeah, I mean, if you see this little silver, that means it's good. If you see the red X, that means it's bad. Alternatively, you can click here, invite friend, and it gives you the invite friend link. So you can click on that, link it, it'll copy to your clipboard, and then you can send an email to a friend, say, hey, person I went to kindergarten with, I haven't spoken to in 10 years, you can click on this and join War Thunder. This totally isn't a scam. And you can hopefully get them to play for a very long time, and even get them addicted to the game, so you can really reap the benefits of their video game addiction. Then you can click on tournaments, streams, and replays, and really all of that. So yeah, there's a ton of value in this menu. Oh, and if you click on the streams and replays, you will be able to actually see other people's streams and replays that they've uploaded to the community site, in case you're into that sort of thing. So from there, you can see the to battle button. This basically brings you into a match, and it's whatever match you have here selected. So you click on this, you can get into whatever type of match you want. So air arcade, ground arcade, naval arcade. Then you have realistics, sim battles, which are really, really cool. You have assault air arcade, assault ground arcade. This give you special rewards like boosters and universal backups, which are really, really cool. This is another way to get into World War mode. You have your special events and tournaments. So let's say, for example, if the April Fool's event is going on, you will be able to find it here. Squadron realistic battles, as I mentioned before, you can join those if your squadron is currently in those sort of battles, and that's kind of how you can get up higher in the squadron rankings, because they do have seasons of that, which you can then get squadron rewards like GE, cool squadron tags, whatever. Then you also have your other way to get into custom battles. And finally, War Thunder League, which, if I'm not mistaken, is an esports league, which is very, very rare that you might be able to do it, but you do have to individually sign up for these tournaments, if I'm not mistaken, to be able to get in. You can click on this, like I said, events and tournaments, and it kind of just brings you into sim battles, ground sim battles, whatever. But again, once there are special tasks to kind of go on, like April Fools, you will be able to access them there. Now, going on from there, you have your Silver Lion count, you have your GE count. If you want, you can click on that. You can purchase more Silver Lions for GE. You can click on this. You can purchase Golden Eagles, which is your premium currency. I would say buy the Golden Eagles on Gaijin's website if that's an option, because, for example, that 5,000 GE is typically $25 USD on Gaijin's website, so you can save yourself $8, $16, however much. I'm not really sure what the 25,000 is on their website, but you can end up saving yourself quite a bit of money. From there, you have your convertible research. This basically is something that you gain side by side with regular research points, and the way that you can use it is by using GE. This will be able to unlock new vehicles. So let's say, for example, I don't really have too far in the Japanese tank tech tree or air tech tree. So if I want, I could just use all that convertible research, click boost research here, or click it up here, and it'll bring me to the vehicle that I want. And I can take that 22,508 and just use my GE and my convertible RP. Granted, I have enough, and well, enough of the GE as well to be able to unlock this without playing any matches or further matches. From there, you have your premium account. Click on that. You can purchase premium account with Golden Eagles. Really, really cool. I would suggest to wait until there are sales on their website because you can save yourself quite a bit of money, typically about 50% off of this price, which is awesome. And then you have Battle Pass, which is something that you can purchase here. I always just purchase the improved Battle Pass right from the beginning. But from there, you can go here. This brings you to the Golden Eagles. There's a ton. So you have Golden Eagles, pretty much brings you back to that. Silver Lions premium account pretty much brings you to all of these. You have your inventory that pretty much brings you to the screen I showed down here, which is really, really important because it shows you everything that you have. I've got pages and pages of this stuff. Useless. Boosters, very, very important. You'll be getting a ton of those, especially if you have Battle Pass. You have your all-important wagers, discounts, tickets, which could be, tournament tickets. That's only if you have tournaments. Orders, which are pretty much useless in my opinion. Backups, vehicles, skins, decorators, so on and so forth. So if you're wondering where something is that maybe you purchased on the marketplace, whatever the case may be, it will be in here. And then you also have your all-important item shop, which I will be doing a video on in the future, where you can use Golden Eagles to open up these various trophies, which you could use to get certain vehicles. You can get Silver Lions, premium account, more Golden Eagles, wagers, whatever. So it's really, really cool. Then you have your Warbond shop, which has tons of features. You can get yourself foliage. If you have enough of these special tasks completed, you can get yourself vehicles, assuming you also have enough Warbonds. You can get yourself battle trophies, whatever, boosters, you name it. This has it. Really, really useful. I would strongly suggest just fully taking advantage of the Warbonds, just because, especially when it comes to Battle Pass, you will be getting a ton of them, especially if you have Battle Pass purchased. And I do have a video on Warbonds, albeit a little bit old because it is before Battle Pass was implemented into the game. So it doesn't really take all that into account, but it still does a pretty good job of going over Warbonds from there. Then you also have the online store, marketplace, and collections. Collections pretty much is, let's say if you were going to complete a certain event, you can, if I were to get all 4 of these things, I would get this as a reward. Pretty simple. Typically, these are event things. I don't really participate in them because I don't care about decals and general decorations. But if you get all these, you can purchase them on the marketplace, for example. You'll then be rewarded with this, but these are also individual decorations. I'm really speaking fast, so I hope you guys don't mind, which you can also put in your vehicles. But again, really, it's pretty simple. The online marketplace, very, very important. I do have a video explaining that below, but basically you can purchase a whole host of vehicles on there, skins, whatever. Check out the video. I do have that link below. In the online store, this pretty much brings you to Gaijin's website. Again, very important, especially if you want to save on Golden Eagles and potentially other things like premium account once those sales come through. And finally, before I catch a breath, you can click on all of this. This gives you the help thing, which pretty much gives you a less in-depth version of what I'm going over here. You can click on Encyclopedia, which should bring you pretty much to just kind of give you a general knowledge of more or less everything. Down here is the wiki, very, very important, especially if you want to know the strengths and weaknesses of vehicles before you start to use them. You have change logs, which again, very, very important because this will tell you more or less what's changed in each individual update. If you want, you can see the vehicles that get added in the major updates down here, so on and so forth. Pretty important, but it's not really worth it for me to go over every single change in the changelog. And then you have your frequently asked questions, support. Support is what you will be clicking on once you might have to open up a ticket. Let's say if you've been muted for whatever reason, you don't think it's justified, click on that and you should be able to kind of dispute it. After catching my breath, I've decided it makes more sense to go in a clockwise fashion, so I'll just kind of go from where I left off. And right here you have the events and tournaments. Basically brings you exactly right back to where this button would bring you. So for the most part, there's numerous ways to access more or less everything on this menu. So again, this is also where you might find winter, summer, tank biathlons, whatever the case may be, this is where you'll likely be clicking to access it. If you have Battle Pass or are interested in Battle Pass or just taking advantage of the free rewards, click on it here. You have Battle Pass. You can kind of scroll through the rewards here. Because I do have Battle Pass, pretty much everything is open to me. But if you do not have Battle Pass purchased, you will be able to see which things are free and whatnot underneath where this is. You also have, if you'd like, you can preview the main reward, which in this case, the M6A2E1. I really like the vehicle. I do have a review on it. Link below if you'd prefer to look at that. You can click on the challenges here. This will basically bring you into all the basic challenges, but I'm sure you already know that. And it also provides a different way to access the Warbonds shop, which is also very important. Again, I do have that video linked below, and your various Battle Pass requirements here, which are pretty useful, especially when you are looking at getting your special tasks done, so that you can purchase these vehicles for free, these premium vehicles for free. Again, very, very important, rather than using GE on them. So really a ton of important things. And if you don't want to click on here and then go to here for the battle task, you can just click on here and it'll bring up the same exact menu. As mentioned before, this is your inventory, pretty much gives you everything. You can further sort it by going down here, but I've already mentioned all that. And you do need keys to open up these chests, so there's that. And then you also have down here, you have your various vehicles, crews, presets. I do have a video going over presets. I will link that below, so in case you want to figure out what presets are and how to best use them, I think I have 1 or 2 videos on that. You can click on this if you do not want your ammunition to be automatically refilled after battle. This is your auto repair. Sometimes this is actually very useful, especially when using high expensive repair vehicles like the B-29, for example, or most other bombers, especially in the high tier, because this will make it so that your free repairs will take over. As you can see here, just near the bottom of the stat card, you can see how long it would take for the free repair time to come into effect. So in this case, if I were to click off of this, it would take 2 days and 6 hours for this vehicle to be used again without me using 5,910 repair or silver lines in order to repair this vehicle, at least when it comes to ground arcade, or, well, I guess 5,900 and realistic as well. So just bear in mind, those are pretty important. Down here we have our various battle, I guess you could say, indicators, battle messages. So you can click on this. You can see that the last match I had, I lost in Hurricane Forest, despite the fact that I did really, really well. Unfortunately, we lost pretty bad. You can click on all here. You can pretty much see everything that's happened. I don't really prefer to do that. Rather select it through here. You can see that I purchased a modification for my T-92, had my weapon resupply, various... well, you're more likely to see exactly how much it costs to repair vehicles here rather than here for whatever reason. I'm not really sure. Achievements, pretty much you can look at this for yourself, but as you can see, this pretty much has everything that you might need to know after a battle. Click on here, you can see private messages. I don't have any private messages right now, but you can see all your squadron messages. If you'd like, you can click on various chats, participate, say, hey guys, what's up? You're on YouTube. Okay. So you can click on that and go here. You can see your various friends. I don't add them, even though they are cool people. See your invites. If people add you to be a friend, add you to a squadron, that's exactly where that will be. Then you can click on here. You can click on people's names, invite them to your squadron. Pretty simple stuff. It does take some getting used to. Squadrons are a little bit tricky, and that's one of those things that you will actually have to experience for yourself because, again, they are a little bit tricky. If you want, you can click on presets here. It'll open up a thing where presets. If you have a ton of presets, that will help you navigate them. So as you can see, I've got more presets than can fit down here. It goes down to heat, whereas I do have 2 more presets that I can use for Germany, so that's very, very important. Again, I do have a whole video on presets. You can click on research. You can see all the vehicles that you own. This is your basic tech tree. Again, there are videos about this. I have a video about this, pretty popular one, by the way. And then going over to the left here, you have pretty much the final portion of the menus, which is pretty cool. So you have your basic stat card here. Basically just kind of goes over all the everything that you might have with the vehicle. You have your crew information here. So as you can see, my crew is not really good. They've only got, you know, effectively like what, 720 vision. I'm not really sure how vision works. But well, vision in game, I know how it works, but vision in real life, you have 2020. I'm not really sure where 720 is, whatever. From there, you also have your achievements. If you want, you can just put achievements there and other people will see them. But, you know, again, pretty basic. One important thing that I did neglect kind of to go over are the vehicle menus. So you can click here, you can change vehicles. You know, this will show it if I have my mastered crew, which basically means that I put the vehicle to that crew, whereas this means that it's every single vehicle. If I have both mastered and not mastered, click on this. It's just the not mastered. This basically gives you the silver lining cost of how much it will be to crew that vehicle with that crew and train them on this vehicle. Alternatively, one other important thing that you can see is how this is the filled in like silver star. That basically means that I do have that experted out, which means that they have a boost in crew skills. Which, speaking of crew skills, let's go check that out now. And we have crew right here. As you can see, crew skills +3, very, very important. I don't have rank 80 because I don't really invest in advanced training, even though I know a lot of YouTubers do. That's not what I do. But you can also earn ace crew, which will give you +5 on everything. You can earn that just by doing things that give you RP. So as you can see, I could really just invest whatever I want into whatever I want, and I could reach that level 80 and then get crew, which would then cost, as you can see here, golden eagles or fewer golden eagles once you reach those various benchmarks. But either way, this is pretty simple. I do have a whole video on crew skills, so be sure to check that out. And finally, when it comes to other things, modifications, for example, this is exactly where you will see all of your various modifications for your vehicles. Keep track of them, very important. This is where you can activate your backup vehicles, purchase talisman if you want +100 RP when controlling this vehicle, which is pretty important because this pretty much makes it into like a mini premium vehicle. Pretty cool in my opinion. I don't really use it though, but that's because I have pretty much permanent premium time. And then from here you can again look at your various camouflages. You can set up decorations, put decals on things. As you can see here, if you want, you can put like "Let's Go" on there. I'm not really sure what language that is. It looks like Cyrillic. Put that on the side of your vehicle. Scale it up. Wait a second. Scale it up. Scale it down. Turn it a little bit. Whatever the case may be. This is also where you can put various decorations, foliage, for example. If you have this, typically, you know, I gain my foliage through the Warbond shop, so you can add it there. Pretty cool, and that kind of helps to make that a little bit less visible. And from here, you can check out your various armors and X-ray to see exactly where your various components and crew are in the vehicles. And then you can go into test drive here and pretty much do whatever you want. You can test drive whatever vehicle you want, which is really cool, so long as it's in the premium tech tree. If you want, you go to the E100, you can preview it, which will show you exactly what it looks like. You can test drive it down here. That's pretty much it. I think I went through everything. Let me know if I did not go through everything, because I tried to make this the most comprehensive menu guide tutorial anywhere on YouTube for War Thunder. I know it was kind of a bit off the cuff, not much editing is going to go into this, but much like most of my other videos, they are scripted. This one is not. Rather, I relied on my 7+ years of experience in game to kind of go over everything as I went over it, rather than write it down and give you a scripted mess. That being said, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. You know the dealio, and I will see you all on the other side. Thanks so much for watching, and take care, everyone. See you later.